been claimed that some lesbians are feeling pressured to have sex with trans women, even trans women who still have male genitalia, lest they be accused of transphobia. Andrew, it's a very small survey, and I suppose for that reason, given its sample size, it certainly wasn't quite 100, 80 or so. It comes with 80. A big caveat and health warning, doesn't it, as not necessarily representative sample. But within it, anecdotally, are stories emerging of people, of women feeling pressured to behave in a way they really shouldn't be behaving because they don't want to offend they don't want to be called a TERF, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist.
That's right. This article is called quite a stir today on social media. This was for the BBC. It's by Caroline Lowbridge. And as you say, it's interviews with many women, lesbians, some trans people as well, testimonies from people who were saying that they feel they've been pressured or coerced into accepting trans people as partners. And if they say that, trans people just simply aren't in their dating pool because lesbians aren't attracted to people who identify as women, they're attracted to people who are biologically women. But even for saying that, they're often threatened, harassed, called things like a genital fetishist, a pervert, things like this. This is very reminiscent of the old sort of homophobic tropes of the 1980s, where they would say, oh, well, I'm sure to gay men, you've just not met the right girl yet. Or they'll say to women, oh, you just need the right bloke, and this kind of thing. It's a rehabilitated form of that. What's very interesting about this is I appreciate a lot of the criticism of this article coming from very mainstream commentators online has been based on the idea that these are just anecdotes. This is just anecdotal evidence. They're basically saying that these women are lying about this. Which I think is very ungenerous. But not only that, these are the people who always go on about the importance of lived experience and the importance of always listening to people's lived experience and taking it on trust. But of course, when they say lived experience, it has to be of the approved kind. So these women's lived experience can be dismissed and they can be referred to as transphobes. I think it's a real problem. The thing is, I accept that anecdotal evidence has its limits. But with this case, you can see there is an awful lot of evidence going from the people who are harassing and threatening themselves. In fact, there are whole websites that collect together thousands and thousands of examples. I mean, the first time I saw a tweet saying that lesbians who won't sleep with someone with a penis are genital fetishists and bigots and evil, I wrote it off as just some idiot on Twitter. Now I've seen thousands and thousands of them. It's a real thing. There's a lot of evidence for it. Those people who are claiming it doesn't exist, they either don't know or they haven't really looked into it, or they're lying. I mean, that's the other possibility. But one of the really interesting things about this article on the BBC is they quote Stonewall. They asked for an interview with someone from Stonewall. Of course, Stonewall don't give interviews anymore. But they did give a statement. And they said that effectively, they said, nobody should ever be pressured into dating or pressured into dating people they aren't attracted to. But if you find that when dating, you are writing off entire groups of people, like people of color, fat people, disabled people, or trans people, it's worth considering how societal prejudices may have shaped your attractions. In other words, it is comparing same-sex attracted people, lesbians, to racists. And as Kathleen Stott pointed out, if that's not pressure, then what is? I mean, that's absolutely appalling. That's coming from the head of Stonewall.
Andrew, we've got to leave it there. Really appreciate your time. Thanks very much, Andrew Doyle.